Hey, welcome everybody to the Side by Side podcast presented by Side Stage Tour, a nonprofit giving you an all-access pass to the global community touring partners deserve. I am your co-host Laura Landers alongside Kelly Clark, and today we have the honor of having a Side Stage Tour member, and most importantly, for the sake of today's episode, a mother of two children, Cobie Potesta.
Hello. I'm
So happy you're here. So let's just dive in because this is all about mothers, motherhood, for Mother's Day, and for the rest of the year, basically every day of the life of just a mother of a touring musician spouse. It's a lot. So how long have you been married, Cobie?
We have been married since 2018, so we're about to hit 7 years, which seems really crazy. We've been together, this will be 10 years that we've been together, been married for 7.
Amazing. Did it fly by?
Seems forever.
Just fly
I
by.
mean, yes and no. There's definitely seasons where I'm like, oh, this is a year. But no, for the most part, I mean, we got married young. I was 20, he was 21. So it's been really fun to kind of grow up together and get to see his career go in a direction that I don't think we initially thought we would end up in Nashville and doing all these things and him being on the road so much. But it's been really cool. And I am very excited to be like on this journey with him. I don't know. It's fun.
Amazing. All right, tell us about
Wow.
your kids. How many kids do you have and how old are they?
Yes, well, we have 2 kids. They're both boys. I have a little over 2-year-old named Oliver. He's like the sweetest little kid. He's so chill, just loves hanging out. He's basically an adult, I swear. He's like, doesn't want to hang out with kids. He goes, I just want to hang out with you. He goes to Preds games, which is our hockey team in Nashville. He's like the only kid that I know that will sit there for 3 hours and just be completely content watching a game. Has everything Preds Nash themed. He's just big old super fan. Such a little sensitive kid. He's so sweet. Always will go up to you and be like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm good. We're great. Like, we're having a good time. Like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm great. I'm like, sounds good. Let's party. He's hilarious. And then I have a 1 month old named Beckett. So yeah, we're rocking newborn mom life with 2 kids, trying to figure out all of the transition and going from 1 to 2. It's a beast, but we're doing it. We're doing it.
Wow, you are like really in the newborn time right now.
Oh yeah,
One month
I've
in.
been up since like 5, so we're living, we're thriving.
Honestly, we're just honored that you said yes to doing this because
Uh-huh.
you could choose not to.
I'm happy to be here. Honestly, newborn phase, the first time around, terrifying. It's this fragile child that you're like, I bend you the wrong way and you're gonna break. And then the second time you're like, oh, this is a breeze, bro. You eat, you sleep, you poop. That's all I care about. I mean, I've had a relatively easy time with both of my kids at this stage, so there's other moms who are in the trenches, but I personally love the newborn phase. It's one of my favorites.
I love it.
I don't have children, but newborns are also my favorite.
Yes, yes.
I
They're not
don't have
yelling at you yet. You're not having tantrums. You're not doing the whole thing. So this is great. No opinions, just vibes.
Yep,
Just vibes.
right.
before
I
you
only like
Yep.
vibes.
I'm only here for the vibes. That's it.
before you move on to the next question, Laura,
Yeah.
Cody, I just love the way that you talk about your children. Like it was
Thank
just
you.
so beautiful to say he's just the best. When you were
Oh,
talking about your 2-year-old, it's beautiful to hear that.
they're my favorite. I mean, I know I knew I always wanted to be a mom. I have loved kids my entire life. I was a nanny. I did all the things. Truly, motherhood has been like one of my favorite stages of life, and I feel so blessed that I have these 2 little kids that like think I hung the stars for them, and I truly hope I am hanging the stars for them, and that they just have the best childhood ever because I love them so much. They're like my favorite.
Wow.
They're my best friends.
Yeah. That kind of just for the listeners, we do have like a set list of questions we want to ask Cobie all about motherhood, but I do want to just like insert some random ones in there
Absolutely.
that kind of come up naturally. And one of those is, I guess before you got married, did you know that your spouse was going to be in the touring musician, I think he's a sound
Yep.
engineer,
Yep.
lifestyle? And then if so, how did that play into planning having children?
Yeah. So I like distinctly remember because my husband's been doing sounds since he was like 11. He was like the little junior high volunteer at church who was like doing the sound, and that's been his passion. School was never his thing. He was like, I'm not going to go to a traditional college. Like I don't see myself working in like the business sector and being like in the corporate world. He's like, this is what I want to do. And on one of our first dates, and mind you, we met in high school. This was like junior year of high school. He goes, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, he went to Full Sail in Orlando. He was like, I'm going to this college. It's for sound engineer. Um, and I'm going to be in this industry. And like, if you're cool with that, then great. But if you're not, like, I'm just being upfront about it. And I mean, I was 15. I was like, okay, sounds good. Like, we'll figure this out. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if we're going to be dating after high school at this point. But he was very open, very honest about it. And then outside of us, like right after we got married was when he went on his first tour, like a month after. And so we went straight from doing long distance in college to getting married to him being on tour. And so I guess we knew that it would be like he would be working in this industry, or at least I knew. I don't think we realized at the time the capacity that he would be touring. So that was definitely not a challenge, but just a fun thing to come to realize. And I think that's why we waited for a little while to have kids. Like we were married for 5 years before we had Oliver. And I mean, part of that was age related, just I was still in college when we got married. We were figuring life out. We were broke as a joke. Like, we can't even have children right now. We wouldn't be able to put food on the table for them. But we both knew that we wanted kids. It was just about timing. And so we like planned Oliver as much as you can plan to have a kid to be born like when his touring off season would be going on. So like Oliver was born in December where he was not on tour, so he could actually be home. Beckett, however, was not when he was born in March. So we're like mid tour season and we're like, this is awesome. This is great. But yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things that we always knew we wanted. It was just about timing. And honestly, is there ever a good time to have a kid? There's always something that you can say, like, oh, financial, or we want this, or we want that. And life's never going to be perfect. So you just got to kind of do the thing. And if you want kids, have the kids. That's one of the things that I like to tell moms is just do it. It's going to be okay. It might be scary. It might be hard, but you're gonna make it through. Like you'll make it through the newborn phase, you'll make it through crazy 2-year-old tantrums and all of the things, and it might be hard, but it will be okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like you two, before you got married, you knew you wanted children.
Yep.
You got married, you knew that the touring lifestyle was going to happen. The touring lifestyle did happen, and you planned on having children.
Yep.
And then you did have children. I know it's almost impossible for any parent to say they regret having kids.
Yeah.
But because this is such an interesting lifestyle where
Yeah.
you're probably home alone all the time,
Oh yeah.
or depending on whether, he's
Yeah.
gone on the weekends or he's gone
Yeah.
for 6 months of time, whatever, it's different for everyone. But do you ever like, and you don't have to say yes just because it feels like I'm baiting you into this, and
Yeah.
you don't need to say no either, whatever you really feel. But like, do you ever feel a little twinge of regret in this lifestyle for having children, or have you had no regrets because you knew you always want to be a mother, which you did mention
Yeah.
earlier? I know it's a loaded
Yeah.
question, but
No.
I'm so
No, I would not label it as regret because, of course, they're my pride and joy. I love these kids. I would never like regret them, but I definitely do miss life at times, like before having kids. There's definitely moments where I'm like, oh boy, Matt and it would be like he had his bus call at 11 p.m. and we had nothing to do and there was like a fun bar that we could go to and we would decide at 8:30 p.m., hey, you're packed, we have nothing else to do, like let's go. That's just not reality anymore. If we wanted to do that, we'd be like, okay, I scheduled a babysitter 3 weeks ago who we had this phone call with, and they're really cool, and I trust them with, at this time, it was only Oliver. Now we're having to include like a newborn in the picture as well. There's just so much more logistics that goes into it where sometimes I'm like, well, it would be really nice if we could just go grab a drink right now, or just say, like, let's do date night without even having to think twice about it. So there's definitely moments where I'm like, this is way different, and no one can fully prepare you to be a parent. You're not given a book, you're not given a guideline of when this happens, you do this, and when this happens, you do that. So it's a lot of trial and error and a lot of just figuring it out, which makes it difficult sometimes. I mean, I think any parent, regardless of being a touring wife, husband, or just being in a regular 9 to 5 job, has moments where they miss life before kids. But it's kind of the idea of pros and cons. Do the pros outweigh the cons if you want kids? Then
Yeah,
for me, no.
great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that so raw. It
Yeah.
was really nice to hear. So, the next question I have is when did you decide to have kids? You decided on having kids before you got married,
Yeah, yeah.
in a
Like
way?
that was definitely, I don't want to say non-negotiable for me, but like I don't know if I would have been able to be married to someone who was iffy about having kids. Because that was something I always
Mhm.
saw for my life. Did I see touring for my life? No. But I'm also I'm I'm a game person. I'm like, sure, let's do this. We'll figure it out. It's gonna be okay. I'm very relaxed, nonchalant about a lot of things. And I'm like, I think there's gonna be messy moments and it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. So go before we got married, it was very clear that we were going to have kids. I think we had the idea of more kids before we got married. It was like, oh, let's have 4 or 5 kids. Like, that will be fun. We'll be great. And now I'm like, 2 kids might be good. Maybe a third, but I might be put into an institution if I have 3 kids by myself. So we have definitely lessened the total number of children that we have originally wanted, but we knew before we got married that we wanted to have kids. And then after we got married and got into touring, it was like, okay, we need to wait some time before we have kids. And once we moved to Tennessee, which was in 2021, that's when it started becoming a little more real that it was like, okay, this feels like it's time. I'm I'm happy with where I am at in my career. You're kind of settling into a routine of he was doing weekend warrior at this point where he was home Sunday afternoons to like Wednesday nights, sometimes Thursday nights, and was gone Thursday through Sunday. So we were kind of in that routine where it was like, okay, we just have flipped weekends and dad just travels during the week or during the weekend and kind of creating our own like normalcy there. Then that kind of felt like the natural path of like, okay, now this seems like a place where we can have kids and be in a stable place and create a routine and figure out life.
Nice.
We're both like, wow, what a life that you live and it's great. And then there are times where it's really hard.
Oh
And it
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, which brings us to our next question. So you said that your oldest, Oliver's, his name was born in
Yes.
December outside of the
Yep.
touring schedule. As far as the other one, the
Beckett.
1 month old, what's the name again?
Yep. Beckett. You can call him
Beck.
Bex. We call him Bex most often.
This is adorable.
Yeah.
So he was born in March.
Yes.
Was he there for the birth?
He was by a day, by a day. So he had one like last weekend of tour with his one artist. And the tour ended March 13th, and I had Bex March 14th. I have this thing called I don't have it currently. It's only when you're pregnant. It's called gestational diabetes. It sucks. But essentially your blood sugar is out of control. You have to be on an insane diet, but it consequently makes you have giant babies. So I get induced at 39 weeks every single time that I'm pregnant. She was like, "Do you want to get induced like March 12th?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, my husband's not home March 12th." And she's like, "Okay, so the latest I'll do is March 14th." I was like, "Great. That will work perfect." He gets home the 13th at like 4. So let's do the 14th. And we literally went into the hospital the 14th at 5 a.m. So he was home for less than half a day before. It was like, okay, we're going to have a
Do
baby.
it.
Yep. Yep.
It sounds like, Cobie, you have no anxiety.
That's what it sounds like.
Honestly, you don't get to have anxiety when you are living this life as a mom. Like I I mean, yes, you can have anxiety. I trust me, there's plenty of times where I'm like, I literally feel like I'm gonna lose my mind with how anxious I feel. But I'm a firm believer in that everything's just gonna be okay. We're gonna make it through it. The 5 hour plane flight will come to an end. The tantrum about the green sock will come to an end. The newborn screaming because they don't want to go to sleep will come to an end. And it's gonna be okay. And everyone's gonna survive. We might be a little crazy afterwards, but it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. They're all just little moments.
Sounds like
I'm just
bedtime
gonna
to me.
take that piece of advice
Yes.
and stick with it.
Everything's gonna be
Okay, let me
fine.
ask you this. Oh, sorry,
Oh, I
Kelly.
just
I didn't
thinking
hear
like,
you.
oh my God, Mother's Day merch. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. It really is. It really is.
If that's not just like life advice, I need to remind myself of that. I don't know about y'all, but okay, I need to ask you this, Kobe. So,
Yes.
what has been the most unexpected challenge of parenting while your partner tours, and how have you learned to navigate it?
Okay, I actually really thought about this, and this is gonna sound like so cliche, but what was hard for me was accepting fair, not even. When it comes to like parenting, it's really easy for me to be like, well, I was just alone for 4 days and doing all the things, so I need you to do the dishes for 4 days, and I need you to do every single night feeding for 4 days. And that's not fair because that's unrealistic. I did not choose the touring lifestyle, but I did accept it. And so I have to be okay with the sacrifice of doing more. Um, and realizing that this man just worked his butt off for 5 days straight and was working 12, 15-hour days, setting things up, doing manual labor.
Mhm.
Homeboy wants to come home and he wants to have like one night of sleep, and that's okay. So, really working hard to balance fair, but it won't be even. He can do one full night of night feedings, and that's okay. That helps me, that gets me rest. He can take both boys for one morning, and that will help me, and that gets me rest. But it's not fair for me to have him do that every single day. That's been really hard. And
Have
not
you had to tell yourself that, or is that like something like a mantra you have to continue to remind yourself because it's hard, or is it easy to you and that's why you came up with that like fair, not even thing?
Oh no, it's hard for me. So it's like a mantra of like, okay, it's gonna be fair, not even. Like there's going to be times that you did the dishes 6 times and he did them 4 times, and that's okay. Because of the other 2 times that are uneven, he was literally not in the state to be able to do them. And he can't help himself
Yeah.
there. Like there's nothing he can do about that. That's just life. That's reality. So that's something that I try to repeat to myself quite often of just being like, okay, we're going to figure out a way to be fair. It might not always be even, and that's okay.
That was a little gold nugget.
Right. I feel like I need to write that down. I need a notebook or just text us later. Goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
I got you.
Also,
Yes, yes. Life, just life is sometimes going to be not even, but it will be fair, hopefully.
Yeah.
but that is incredibly important to remember. Even I obviously I'm trying to relate to that, so then I relate to it without the mother aspect of just like them being gone and you want them to run the house the same way that you're running the house, or raise the kids the same way you're raising the kids, or do the errands the same amount you're doing the errands. Whatever like that thing is for you,
Yep,
that's a really good way to put it because like you said, we did sign up for this life in addition to theirs.
yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting.
Just reminds me of an argument about cleaning the house before leaving. Yes. So I need
Well,
to
I will even say a lot of the times where I do get frustrated isn't even related to the kids. It is like household things because I get to play with them. I get to do all those things. Like I get to do the fun things and take them to the zoo and do the aquarium and go get ice cream and all that. And we still do that when Matt's home. But sometimes it's like, okay, you're home, you're playing with the kids, and I'm doing the dishes again. And that's like where I get caught up, where it's like, okay, you you could be doing the dishes instead of playing, but then I have to catch myself and be like, okay, this is his time home with them. And this is when he gets to actually intentionally be with them and playing with them and doing these things. Like I can do the dishes here and it will be okay. And I'm not going to die because I did the dishes 5 times and he did them 3 times. So a lot of times it's honestly household work and things like that where I catch myself getting into those modes. And that's when I have to check myself and be like, take a deep breath, listen to some music, go for a walk, do something, calm yourself down. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real.
Whew, you nuggets all left and right. Okay, let's the next question we have is, how do you explain to your spouse or your spouse's absence to your kids, and how has the conversation changed since you've gotten older or just been married longer?
Yeah, I think with Oliver being 2 and then Beckett being 1 month, we haven't really had to get into like the nitty gritty of his job yet. But one thing that Matt and I have been intentional about since they were born, like Oliver's first concert that he went to, I think he was a month and a half. He had like the little newborn headphones
Headphones.
on and he was just zonked at the concert. But we try to normalize that environment for him. So I make my best effort to go to any show that I can get to realistically and hopefully not as painful as possible. It's dragging 2 children to a concert in downtown Nashville, just so that he can actually visibly see what he's doing and what that looks like. Because even as an adult, sometimes it's hard for me to rationalize and be like, dude, you're choosing to be away from us for, I think Matt was gone like 200 days last year. Like that's hard for me to digest sometimes. So I imagine that a little kid, that's even harder to digest, to be like, why is dad choosing to do this? So we try to expose them to this world as much as we can so that it's like, oh, dad puts on shows and this is what he does and he rides on a bus. And then we try to create like really kind of unique traditions for them. So like Oliver's super into monster trucks, and every time Matt leaves, before he packs his like backpack, they go sit down with his monster trucks. They pick out one for Matt to take with him, and then he takes pictures throughout the weekend or the weeks or however long he's gone of the monster truck doing different things like with dad. So like if he's making coffee, he'll take a picture of like the monster truck with the little coffee machine and he'll send it to me and I'll like show it to Oliver and he's like, "Oh, Spider-Man's making coffee." And I'm like, "Yeah, Spider-Man's making dad's coffee." Or he'll like put him on the soundboard and like have him push little faders and things like that and like send a video. And so we just try to like make it personalized for them so that they, one, feel connected while he's gone, and also just kind of once again expose them to what this looks like. So we'll see what that looks like for Bex as he gets older. And then yeah, I don't know. We're very open and we talk to both boys basically like adults. So if he asks me like, "Where's dad?" I'm like, "Oh, dad's at work today. This is what he's doing. We'll look at like the Find My location and I'm like, he's in Texas today or whatever doing like these things." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Like he's starting to understand it. So I feel like those conversations will change in the
Okay.
next few years, but just
Yeah.
open,
So
honest communication.
Oliver have, you haven't seen Oliver have like a breakdown about dad being gone yet.
I mean, not like a full-on meltdown. I definitely have noticed him recognizing it more. Like if I come into, because typically when Matt's home, like Matt will go get him from his bedroom in the morning because I am not a morning person. So Matt will like go grab him and like bring him into our room so that he can hang out for a few minutes. So if like I'm going to get Oliver, he's like, "Oh, dad's not home." And I'm like, "Yeah, dad's not home." Dad's not home. And he's like, "Okay." And sometimes he'll ask me, he'll say like homework because sometimes Matt's in the shop like prepping gear for his next tour or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, he's home. He'll be home by dinner, like everything. He'll be here for bedtime, all those things." So sometimes he'll ask me those questions and I'll be like, "No, he's at away work today." And sometimes he'll get like a little sad, but he's very easily redirected to like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do today." And then we also try to create traditions for like when Matt gets home. So every time Matt gets home from tour, it's like a movie night. We eat dinner on the couch, we order something in, and we just chill, we get cuddles, we hang out, and just have like a nice low key week or night for them to kind of get readjusted.
We do the same. Jordan and I,
Right?
when he
Yeah.
comes home, it's our tradition.
Yep.
We do the same exact thing.
Movie
To
night.
do absolutely nothing.
Just to do
Right
nothing.
here.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
That monster truck
Let's
story
that monster truck
melted
thing.
my whole heart. Oh
He
my gosh.
we were in Ohio this last week and with my in-laws. And my sister-in-law had taken Oliver to her work for a little bit, and he was telling everyone that Matt worked with Spider-Man, and they were like, I don't think that's true. And he's like, no, dad works with Spider-Man. And so I went to like her work later on that day and they're like, hey, so Oliver was telling us that he works with Spider-Man. I was like, oh, dad took the Spider-Man monster truck this week. And so Spider-Man is working with dad. It like makes his day. I'll like in the morning, he'll be like, Dad, take 3 pictures today. So then I have to text Matt and be like, hey, you need to send me 3 pictures of Spider-Man today. And he's like, okay. And then he'll do different iterations of monster truck doing whatever.
You have like a Joker truck, and it's like Dad works with the Joker. And you're
Right.
like, what?
I know. He'll be
Works
like,
with a psycho.
he's like working with son of a digger. I'm like, I can't. Don't listen to him. Just let him be. Just let him be. Don't ask.
Okay, so I have to ask this because I feel like this would be maybe my weakest point if I
Yeah.
were a mother in this life.
Yeah.
What does support look like for you when your partner is away? And this encompasses everything: emotional, physical, logistical. What does
Yeah.
this support look like for you? What do you need?
Honestly, someone to just listen to. Sometimes Matt he'll text me and he'll be like, how's today going? I'm like, bro, if I either don't throw myself out of a window or throw one of our children out of the window, we will have a successful day. And he's like, got it. I hear you. And then that's when he'll be like, how about I send you dinner tonight? Like you don't cook, you just tell me what you want, I'll DoorDash you something. We'll figure it out. Or he'll like dessert will randomly show up on the doorstep at like 10 p.m. and it's like my favorite ice cream and he's like, you had a long day, like let me send you something. So honestly, someone just to vent to, and Matt does a really good job of just listening and being, I mean, he's Mr. Optimistic, which kind of drives me insane sometimes. He's like, it's fine, you're gonna be okay. And I'm like, I want to scream right now. And he's
Right.
like, okay,
Mm.
sounds good, you can scream here. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And then at other times, he's just very aware of me needing a break and like supporting me in that. So he'll either reach out to like one of our friends and be like, hey, I'm about to be gone for 2 weeks. Or like Matt had to go into the shop, I think like a week and a half after I had Beckett, and like no other adult was there. So he like texted our friend and he was like, hey, you're going to come over to our house from 9 to 2 and you're going to keep Cobie company. And it would be really great if you could bring her coffee. And my friend showed up and she was like, I'm here to help. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. Um, so just kind of being the extra support from afar. And I mean, it looks different on different days. Sometimes it's just being like, you're doing a great job. I love you. You're a great mom. Other times it's sending a meal and just making sure that I don't have to think about that. Other times it's saying, hey, I got a babysitter for you. You're going to leave the house for 6 hours today and you're not going to go get groceries. You're not going to go do whatever errand you need to run. You're going to sit at a coffee shop and you're going to read a book, or you're going to go get your nails done, or whatever I need to do for like self care, which is really hard for me. I think you have to be a level of independent to like just be in this lifestyle. So for me to even say like I need help, I need some support here is really difficult for me to do. And being a mother has humbled me in that sense that it's like, nope, you need to sit down and you need to be quiet and you need to just accept the help that is being given to you, and you don't have to do it all. if your husband is willing to be there and support you in whatever way, just take the help.
So it sounds like you want the majority of your support from your spouse, but you also love the support from friends or family.
Yeah.
But do you find that the support roots itself in your loneliness at all or not?
I don't
Or is it just needing a break? Or is it,
I think I think a lot of times it is just needing a break. I think prior to having kids, it was definitely like I need to make sure that I have human touch points when my husband is gone and being like, I need a group of girlfriends or a hobby of some sort to like keep myself busy. Whereas now, being in the stage of motherhood, it's like, no, I need a break. I need to maybe go back to my hobby and have a few hours to sit there and do what I love doing. Or it's being able to go sit at a coffee shop for 3 hours and not have to have every part of my body touched by a child trying to get my attention and trying to get me to do what they want. And other times, like last night, I went out with a bunch of like mom friends and just got a few glasses of wine and had some dinner, and that was fabulous. After Matt being gone for like a week, I was like, yeah, I'm leaving the house. Have a good time. So it just comes in different forms. I don't think there's like a clear cut answer. And
yeah,
there's definitely seasons where it's like sometimes I just need my husband to be there to listen, and other times, no, I do need to get out of the house and I need to reconnect with people who do have kids and people who don't have kids because I feel like where Matt and I specifically are kind of in this odd space where we have a group of friends that do have kids, and that's lovely and great. And then we do have friends that are either never want to have kids or don't currently have kids. And it's like you kind of need both. There's times where you want to just be adults having adult conversations and having a good time. And there's other times where I'm like, no, I need to be with other moms who just understand like mom life.
that's real.
It sounds like a wonderful support system you have around you.
We're working on it. I mean, it's ever evolving. I it's we live in Nashville area and none of our family is here. Matt's family is kind of scattered across the states, and then all of my family is still in California. So like family support is definitely not limited, but it's more scheduled
Mhm.
because either I have to travel to family, family has to travel to me, we have to meet somewhere to have a week together or to get some extra help. It's a little less like, okay, I'm struggling today. I need help today, which has been an interesting kind of challenge, not living close to family. And like I said, getting a babysitter, half the time you have to look for somebody at least 2 3 days in advance, if not more, if you're looking to like get one of your regular babysitters or something like that. But I think after like a year of having Oliver, we kind of started figuring out the rhythm of, okay, I'm going to go see family at this time and this is what we're doing, and I'm going to have a babysitter this day, and she's like my Saturday babysitter who I get to see once a month, who gets me out of the house for a little bit, and we kind of figured out a pattern and a rhythm there.
Amazing. Okay, our next question is, have you experienced guilt or resentment in this lifestyle? And if so, how do you process and work through those emotions? I know you touched on it a little bit earlier.
I can't say yes fast enough. I think it's
Mhm.
just I think it's human nature to just feel resentment when you are the solo parent. Like when you are, I mean, in like the parenting world, it's called the default parent. When your kids hurt, they go to you. When they're hungry, they go to you. When they're sad, they go to you. When they're happy, they go to you. Like if you were to line Matt and I next to each other and Oliver falls and hurts himself, he's going to run to me. He's not going to run to Matt. And that's not an indication of his parenting. He's a great dad. He's so involved and is like loves him, and Oliver loves him so much. But I'm just around more. I am the one who is there solo. So I think it's natural to feel that. And it kind of goes into like my saying of fair, not even. I have to remind myself that life is going to be fair as much as we can make it fair. It's not always going to be even. And also, really having to recognize that Matt is sacrificing things too. Like it's not just a one-ended deal where I'm the only one who's like, well, I'm home and he's gone and he gets all this time away. But time away means missing things. Like he wasn't there when Oliver took his first steps. Like he wasn't there when Oliver got to do XYZ. And that's a sacrifice in itself. Like Matt's about to be in Europe for an extended amount of time. And I'm like, you're leaving with us having a 1 month old and he's going to be 3 months by the time you get back. Like that's a huge difference in like baby terms. So he's going to be missing so much of like that aspect that I have to recognize that he's sacrificing things too. And once I kind of get myself into that mindset, it's easier for me to be like, okay, it's not just me, like woe is me in this situation. Like he's losing out, I'm losing out. This is tough on both ends. And we just have to hold a lot of grace for each other in those situations and just be mindful that we both have emotions and we both are feeling things. I think it's really easy to get caught up in your head and be like, I'm the only person who's experiencing loss in this situation, but that's not true.
Yeah, it is interesting, this specific question, because I have experienced firsthand, well, I guess I should say like secondhand, because I'm not the mother, but I have been friends with some touring musicians, spouse mothers,
Yeah,
and they actually didn't sign up for this
yeah,
lifestyle. They didn't know that their spouse loved touring, or maybe didn't do it before they got married, or maybe they didn't even talk about it before they got married. But this specific one, she had like a 2 or 3 year old, and it was getting really hard for her, and the resentment was building super strong, and it was clouding her mind, and that's all she could really see was
yeah,
the bitterness and resentment of her dealing with this child that
yeah,
was going through some issues.
yeah,
She just felt like she was doing it alone. She felt like a single parent, and I mean, in a way you kind of are a single
yeah.
parent for at least the time that they're gone. And I think my follow-up question to this for you, Cobie, is do you have to remind yourself that Matt and you are living like your dream life now, and that's what fuels yourself to continue moving forward in this really hard parenting lifestyle?
Oh yeah, I definitely have to really rely on like trying to focus on the positive as much as we can. Like we dreamed about having kids and we have kids now. Like I also have to remind myself because even though we live in Nashville, which is like the music city, da, 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 I there's so many times people are like, "Well, why do you do this? Like why do you let your husband leave the house for X amount of time?" And I'm like, how many people do you know that they are obsessed with what they do? That they like this is their dream. That they have like he was like I said was like 11, 12 years old behind a soundboard knowing that this is what I wanted to do. He was like the 15-year-old going to concerts like handing out his business card to people to try and like get on tours. Like this is what he has wanted to do since he was a literal child and he is living his dream. I don't know many people that can say, my career is exactly what I wanted. Obviously, you have good, bad days. Who doesn't have good, bad days in anything that you do? But he is living his dream out. And I like that's so cool that I get to support that. And it's so cool that I get to be like, yeah, dude, like look at dad go. Like look at him have the passion, the fuel, the like conviction to do something and do it really well. Like that's a role model right there. Like I want both of our kids to have such passion and love for what they do. And that's what they have with their dad. And that's super cool. That comes with sacrifices and that comes with hard times. But we get to say at the end of the day, like he's happy, he's thriving, he's doing what he wants to do, and we get to cheer him on through that. So I'm really trying to keep myself there. Other times I'm like, I'm gonna beat
Yeah.
you with a stick if you leave this house one more time. But love you, love you. Glad
You
you're
said that because that's cool. Like
yeah,
that you're gonna it's just the tension of life. Like
yes,
that's always gonna be there.
yes,
And it's nice that you voiced that because it seems like you really love being a mother and that's your dream
yes,
and you're living that.
yes,
Matt loves being a father, that's his dream, and he's also living a
yep,
second dream doing his job. So it seems like you guys have the best of your lives, really. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's annoying at
yep.
times, and I love that you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really easy to think like, oh, I've made it, like everything's gonna be easy. That's
Never.
that's
Never.
never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And there are going to be times where you are in the car crying because both kids are crying and you're like, I don't even know what to do right now. I didn't eat breakfast. I've had 2 sips of my coffee and I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore 4 days ago. You're going to have those moments, but then there's going to be other moments where Oliver's at a concert and getting to see dad do his thing and he's like this, like he's dancing, having a good time, like getting to experience things that other people don't. Like it's a cool thing. There's privileges
Yep.
that come to that with this career, and then there's obviously sacrifices as well. So
Yeah. Kobe, what would you say to a new parent who's just beginning this journey as a touring partner?
I want to specifically talk to moms here. Don't be afraid to do it alone. It would have been so easy for me to have kids and be like, I'm never traveling, I'm never doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not going to find babysitters. I mean, we live in a world that is unfortunately like not set up for mom's success.
Oh,
Like you have a baby and it's like, okay, you get a 6 week checkup and good luck, figure it out, like have a good time. And I mean, I remember being postpartum with Oliver and I'm like, I literally don't know what I'm doing. And my siblings are 15 years younger than me. Like I was 15 when they were born. So I feel like I've kind of gone through all of the phases, but even then, like, I don't know. What do you do when they scream for 2 hours and you can't get them to calm down? I think it's really easy to fall into like, I'll just be alone forever. I'll just never leave the house again. I'll never get on a plane again. And I really leaned into just don't be afraid to do it alone. Get on the flight. Go see them on the road. Go see your friends. Go travel like Oliver did. Oliver did 52 flights last year. And I think
yeah.
I think Matt was on 5 of them. The rest I did solo. And the first time was hard. And I had a car seat and a breast milk bag, and I had a diaper bag, and I had a stroller, and then I had a baby, and then I had all these bags to put all the other things in. And it was a logistical mess, but I did it. And then I did it again, and I did it again, and it got easier, and it got easier, and it got easier. And now I'm like, sure, like Matt's gonna be in Europe. I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's go meet dad in Europe. It's gonna be fine. The worst thing that happens is you cry a
What
little
is,
bit. It's
I have to know, what's the thing that fuels you in doing it alone at times that makes you feel like you can do it alone and go take Oliver on the flights? Like what fuels that and gets you out of the house? I have to know.
my own sanity. Partially that, but also I don't want my kids or myself to feel less than because I'm solo. I don't want them to feel like, well, time with mom by herself is different than when both of us, like both parents are home. Obviously, it's going to be more special because dad and mom are home and that's really cool and we get to like have family time. But I want their life to be just as vibrant when he's gone. So that when we get to the stages of we figure out, hey, dad's not here, it's not dad's not here, life is over, we're gonna like sit and wallow. It's no, we get to do really fun things when dad's gone too. Like life does not end because he's gone. Obviously, it's a little more sad because who doesn't want your husband home? Who doesn't? I mean, hopefully you like your husband, if you want him home, but who doesn't want dad around when he plays baseball and does all these things and we get to go to hockey games and stuff like that? But I want life to look as normal as possible when he's gone as well, and that we get, like I said, we life doesn't end because he's gone. We get to still do things. We're going to go see family, and we're going to go to the zoo, and we're going to go to the park, and we're going to have the ice cream date at 3 p.m. because why not? Yeah.
Wow.
What an
You really,
incredible mom you are in person, just you.
seriously.
All the gems that you just dropped are,
Yeah.
we're not mothers. And so you're dropping gems for mothers and then also for us that are not, that are inspiring. And your
Thank
marriage
Yeah.
is inspiring.
you.
The way that you
Yeah.
operate your house is so inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of like speaking to my inner child. You were like, why not go have fun while they're gone? And why not have such a vibrant life while they're gone? And I will say, I think I put myself in this. I think I've mentioned this in a past podcast with you, Kelly, but I feel like sometimes I put myself as like this princess in a castle
Mhm.
but the castle starts to feel like a jail
Yeah.
cell, but I did that to myself.
Hmm.
And so when you're saying like, it doesn't even need to require travel. I know that we
No,
use the
yeah.
flights as an example, but like you just said, like vibrancy and having fun, like sometimes I don't because
Same.
I'm sad he's gone. And so I just literally wallow in that, like you said. And I'm like, no, I can't do that.
I mean,
I need to
there's,
break out of it.
and
So
I mean,
that's,
there is space for it. I have to remind myself quite often, I need to hold extensive grace for myself, that there are going to be days that we are going to sit on the couch and we're going to watch 4 movies in a row because that's all I can do. And that's okay. And then there's going to be days where it's like we're going to the zoo and then you got gymnastics after and then we're going to go have pizza and then we're going to have ice cream and it's going to be a great day. There's room for both. There's room for both.
yeah. And that's, I think, what's healthy to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for
Wow.
being here.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I got to be a part of this.
Cobie, not to put you on the spot, is there anything else you have to say or that you want to share with the listeners? If you don't, totally fine, but I don't want to leave without giving you that opportunity if you have something else that you want to share, because everything you've said is super valuable.
Oh goodness. I think just overall, everything's gonna be fine. Like I know I've said it so many times, but I think motherhood specifically can just feel really overwhelming. And then you add in touring and you add in, okay, you're gonna be gone these days and trying to figure out, okay, am I gonna see you here or finding time to still just be like husband and wife? Like it gets really overwhelming. Hold so much grace for yourself and for your spouse. Just be willing to say, dude, we messed this up. We had a funky week. This was not how it should have gone. We get to try again. We can try again next week and we'll do it better. We may not, but it's going to be okay. This is a season. Newborn, it's a season. Toddler, it's a season. You're going to make it through it. And get yourself a good counselor if you don't have a good counselor. Get yourself into some therapy. If you are not in therapy, I love my therapist. I love our couples therapist. I'm like, sign us up. Keep it going.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a great place to end it. Cobie, thank you so much for sharing your realness and experience with us. Thank you to everyone who listened and watched today's episode. If you don't know, Side Stage Tour is all about building a supportive community for the partners of touring musicians. You are not alone, so we're glad that you're here. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need it too. And if you believe in what we're building, consider supporting our work by donating at sidestagetour.org. Every single bit helps us keep creating resources and support for our community. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.